Hey guys, Sandro here from Carcraft Auto Detailing in Melbourne. Today's video is a look at the Mazda 6 during the first maintenance wash after the correction and coating application, as well as a 6-week update on the Audi S3. I'll also be discussing some environmental conditions that can affect your results even on something as simple as a maintenance wash. And I'll be going through the testing of a new maintenance coating wash product that's still in its prototype stage. So to start with, this is about 3 weeks after the completion of Project Mazda 6, which was a 50-50 detail for those of you who haven't seen the video. This car has also been outside 24/7 since the detail, and as you can see, it's pretty dirty, so it should be a good test to see how the corrected and protected right side of the car compares to the unprotected left side. I'm going to start with the rims that were also corrected and protected with Nova Pyro wheel coating on the right side of the car, and compare that to the uncorrected and protected rims on the left side of the vehicle. As per testing and gathering information, which is what these details are primarily about, I'm really interested in testing how easily the rims clean with a touchless wash method using Purge wheel cleaner, and even without the use of a wheel cleaner and just a pressure rinse down. And I'll be comparing that with the unprotected rims on the other side of the car and also the rims on the Audi S3, which are 6 weeks on. Now the first thing I'm seeing once again is how the wheel cleaner itself is almost beading on the rims, which displays the surface tension created by the wheel coating. But once the rim is rinsed down, you can hopefully see even more clearly just how hydrophobic it is, creating little beads of water on the surface. On the rear rim, I simply pressure rinsed it down without the use of a pre-treatment wheel cleaner. And I gotta say, it's close to being perfectly clean without any cleaning chemicals whatsoever. And the water behaviour is once again fantastic, which is really impressive. Now trying the same simple pressure rinse down on the unprotected left hand side rim did pretty much next to nothing, which honestly wasn't anything too surprising, but just a comparison of the extreme difference between corrected and protected rims versus neglected and unprotected rims. So the final comparison test was using Purge to pre-treat the front unprotected rim and then pressure rinse it down. I gotta say, I was a little surprised at how well it cleaned the rim, considering how bad it was. But the other thing to note is just how much of a chemical reaction it created compared to the other front rim, which goes to illustrate that as well as providing an easier maintenance experience, the coated rims also reduce the amount of brake dust that bonds to the wheel. So onto the pre-soak foam. In this instance, I'm using CarPro Reset in my foam lance, and yet again doing a little more testing with dilutions. So I decreased my usual 1:10 dilution ratio to a stronger concentration. And add that together with what was a cold windy morning in Melbourne, had both factors contributing towards creating some altering issues that I'll get into shortly. But firstly, you can see the foam has quite a thick consistency, and it's clinging and bonding to the paint very well. In fact, even after 5 minutes, it was still holding on a little better than it should be. So, starting with the bonnet for some testing, I could firstly see a clear difference with how the snow foam was behaving really consistently well on the coated side of the paint, in comparison to the unprotected side that seemed to become more patchy as the foam dissipated. A quick pressure rinse down immediately showed a massive difference between the two sides of the panel, with stagnant, flat water on the uncoated paint, and great water beading and hydrophobic characteristics on the coated paint. And as you can hopefully also see, during the hand wash stage, the uncoated paint just holds and almost soaks up the water and detergent, while the coated side immediately begins to repel it in a display of circular dispersing holes, which is exactly how a strong, tight and hydrophobic surface should react in that instance. However, although the water behaviour was good on the coated side, it wasn't fantastic or as good as it was on the A3 or really any car I've coated with Nova Pro. So I thought this video would be a great example to show what's happening and why. It can be easy to sometimes blame the coating, as I've seen a few detailers do in the past, but I'll be able to show you as I progress and further wash and rinse the car that the coating is actually just fine, and what's happening is that the colder weather, together with the higher strength of the car wash detergent, is leaving a film of residue on the paint, and that's actually reducing or masking the coating's ability to work and behave to its full potential. So what I'm finding is that the more and more I rinse the coated paint, the better and better the water behaviour is slowly becoming. I just wanted to share that rather than skipping to the final results and water behaviour, as this is an issue that can affect any paint protection product from coatings to sealants and waxes. The colder weather makes the car wash products thicken and become harder to rinse down, almost the same way the sun dries these products and makes them harder to rinse off, but just in two different weather extremes. Then add the fact that the dilution ratio of the car wash soap is more concentrated, and it can really alter the results of the water behaviour of any paint protection product. So in the end, apart from the fantastic water behaviour that was finally revealed, the paint really does look so rich, deep and clear, with a beautiful warm glow on the corrected and coated side, to a hazy, muted look on the original untouched paint, which is actually both great and equally disturbing to see as a detailer. So on to the Audi S3. Once again, starting with the rims, I have to say that the pyro wool coating is still working and behaving extremely well, with no signs of wear 6 weeks on. Hopefully you can clearly see that the water beading and surface tension is pretty much like day one, with beautiful dancing beads of water shooting straight off the surface. Compared to the Mazda, this Audi does create far more brake dust, which can be clearly seen. But going through the same testing stages of pre-treating the two front rims with Purge wheel cleaner and rinsing them down, followed by just rinsing the rear rims down with no wheel cleaner, is pretty much giving similar results to the Mazda rims. So overall, I'd say by just giving the coated rims a pressure rinse down, I'm seeing 90 to 95% of the grime come off. And with the wheel cleaner pre-treatment, they're honestly 95 to 100% clean without even physically touching the rims. Now, I'm sure at some stage the rims will need a physical brush and hand clean, But even if that's something that can be done every couple of months rather than every wash, it's just such a quick and easy wheel maintenance process that's simply a pleasure compared to hand washing them every single time. As I stated before, I'm testing a prototype coating car wash product for this maintenance wash on the Audi S3. Now, from what I've been told about it, this whole product's whole premise is based around maintaining glass or ceramic coatings without altering or affecting the finish whatsoever. So, compared to other SiO2 coating based car wash products that do leave a sealant behind on the paint, this is quite different in that it actually only works with the coating rather than adding a layer over it. The other thing that's also quite different about it is that it doesn't rely on foam or suds to create its lubrication. So similar to something like O&R or Optimum No Rinse, but yet again it doesn't use that same polymer technology for lubrication and uses something quite different again. Now that's about all the info I have on it at this stage, but what I'm most interested in is seeing the results. So what I can certainly tell you about it is that it really doesn't leave any noticeable protection or altering difference on the coated paint. So it really isn't masking or changing the great finish and water behaviour of the coating. But in a strange or hard way to explain, it's still somehow boosting or reviving it in the process. The other thing to note is that the slip of the wash mitt and the lubrication is really noticeable and fantastic, with almost no drag as it just glides over the paint. There's really no doubting that it works and behaves differently to most other products, so that in itself makes it really hard to compare to anything else. At this early stage, I'm just using it with the foam lance and in a spray bottle wash method rather than a 2-bucket wash method. And I've also been trialling a couple of different dilutions with it and comparing results. One other thing that also seems really great about it is the easy rinse off that doesn't seem to cause any product residue issues whatsoever, even when I doubled the concentration. So at this stage it does look promising, but it really does need a lot more testing to draw any more substantial conclusions. But with that aside, the Audi S3 is still looking fantastic, and it's almost not even needing a hand wash, as the dirt, even after 3 weeks of being left outside, seems to come off way too easy with just a foam and a rinse down. And it almost feels like I'm doing the hand wash just because it's the thing I normally do. I want to just lastly talk a little about coatings and sealants. Now normally every car I protect with a glass or ceramic coating also gets a top coat or sealant applied on top. These top coat products like CarPro Gliss and Reload and NovaJet and Luster are in general more gloss boosting sealants with increased hydrophobic characteristics over your standard coatings. Now I absolutely recommend using these top coats as they will without a doubt extend the life of your coating and also increase the gloss and depth of the paint. But I just want to make clear that these two cars have no top coats or sealants applied, and what you're seeing is purely the Nova Pro coating with only a single layer of the coating at that. And I've applied enough coatings in my life to recognise a fantastic one when I see it. The thing about coatings is that they really have to have it all in order to be a successful quality coating. So they need to be extremely durable and last for years, and they need to cure and set to a harder state than your paint. Also be extremely hydrophobic, chemical resistant, and they need to look great, feel smooth, and yet be relatively easy to apply. Because quite simply, our expectations of durability, protection, and resistance and hardness are so much more lenient when it comes to waxes and sealants. So all I'm trying to get across is that coatings have so much more boxes to tick and expectations to meet in order to be successful compared to any other paint protection products. So that wraps up this car update and product testing video for now, but I'll hopefully have some more detailing and update videos shortly. Thanks so much for watching. Please do give the video a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support, and I'll see you in the next video.